Welcome to Kinda Influenced.
We're two millennial moms.
Navigate life and career on the internet.
We're your hosts, Zoe Potter
And Sarah Dickey.
Grab a drink,
grab a snack, and let's chat. Hi!
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, Ariel. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's just a whole new world out here.
Oh my God. It's actually serving like early 2000s, like Lindsay Lohan vibes. And I love it. I'm so
100%.
jealous.
I secretly look in the mirror and I'm like, who is that? And they're like, oh, it's me. No big deal.
Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. You look beautiful. It looks amazing. I feel like
it's
I
gonna
go
grow.
Cry in the corner. It's gonna take years to get that long again.
Short hair is so much more work. And why does no one tell you that?
Why does no one talk about it? Like just even the fact of like, I used to wash my hair once a week. Good to go. Yeah. The oil, because I guess there's not enough hair to go through, it just builds up quicker. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is more complicated.
It's definitely harder. And like, I have crappy hair, so I would have to like heat style it every single day, which isn't good for my hair. And so it was just, when I was changing the color, I was like, put the longest extensions back in here. I want to feel like a princess.
By the way, for audio listeners and not video listeners, Sarah is a whole new woman. So make sure you check out this on YouTube too, because she's got orange, beautiful, long flowing locks. And I'm over here like Lord Farquaad sitting in the corner with my short, stubby hair.
Get out of here, Lord Farquaad. Did you know? Okay, I was talking to Bryce about Lord Farquaad once because
sorry?
Farquaad?
You said quad, like it's like some kind of four-wheeler that you take out back and rip in circles in the back field.
Berta.
Quad.
But do you think it's like a play on like fuck you? Like fuck quad.
No, fuck quad. Fuck quad.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, we're just throwing this out there. This is the Valentine's Day episode.
Oh, yes.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
This is a big old NSFW. Is that right? NSFW. Yeah, not safe for work. Little ears shouldn't be around.
Get your kids out of the car.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife. We're talking about orgasms. We have lots of fun stuff that you guys told us. We have questions. We have like funny stories. We have dirty stories. We've got it all relationship wise. It's going to be a really good episode, but like fun. Just keep that in mind as we get into things, and we'll give you a heads up once we start getting into the nitty gritty.
Totally. Unless you've got like a grade sixer who's like going through sex ed right now. Maybe this could be like a lesson. This
is the worst education you could probably give them, but
Don't do it.
Do you?
I texted Zoe this morning. I'm like, people are ready to get Dr. Sued by us. Do you remember her though? She was the
banana.
Best.
The banana. Is that right?
Yes. And like, she was just like this, I don't know. She probably wasn't 70, but she looked like she was 70.
Listen, back in the day, people looked so much older.
I know.
Like so much. Like she probably was like 50,
40,
maybe 45. And she looked like curly gray permed hair.
Like sitting there talking about tantric sex though. I'm like, my grandma is teaching me about how to have an orgasm and I don't feel okay about this.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
So weird.
Go off though.
Good for her. How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been really busy, which I'm very grateful for. I love busy over the alternative. I guested on a podcast last night.
So fun.
My therapist says I have ADHD, so I'm going through that whole assessment funsies.
What do you do for the assessment?
Oh my God, Sarah. I just posted a reel about it because I think it's the funniest thing ever. She gave me like a 3-page assessment, self-assessment. Yeah. She has to go through it and analyze it and then score me in certain areas. And the irony is like, I forgot about this assessment for multiple days because I have ADHD. So I forgot about it. And then when I remembered it, I'm like, Andrew, can you print this for me? He's like, yeah, print it off. I'm doing it last night. I don't even make it halfway through the first page. And I got distracted by something and walked away. It's going to take me like 6 to 12 business days to finish this 3-page sheet on ADHD because I have ADHD.
That's pure magic.
Who came up with this? A man.
100%. It's always a man. Do you get like what's it called? You're trying to like do stuff, productivity
Everything
freeze or whatever it is.
oh, everything. Like I forget what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I get completely distracted. I hyper focus on things that I don't need to be hyper focusing on. To complete one thing, it takes me like either an entire day of doing it, like because I do 400 things at once and I do a little bit of each of it because I get distracted. And then by the end of the day, Andrew comes home from work and he's like, "How was your day?" I'm like, "It was fine." He's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I don't know." I truly don't know how I made it to 6 p.m. Like how I have nothing to show for it, but I'm tired and I haven't stopped working. Like, what is happening?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Like, I also, like, I feel like I probably have, like, some ADHD. Like, I get, like, distracted-y. I don't feel like I don't know. Or that's just, like, being a human also.
There's a lot of, like, underlying,
yeah.
but I'll tell you once I'm done my massive assessment,
Can't wait.
what it's all about. And
Can't wait.
yeah, me
Slide
neither.
it on over to me. Let me do one too.
We'll take turns.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Sweet. So that's a fun week.
Yeah, what about you? How's your week going?
Got my hair done.
Yeah. How long does
Out.
it take to do this transformation?
So I mean, because I dyed it all myself and like color stripped it and all the things. So that took like a day. Not even. Okay, it took me like an hour to color strip and bleach bath it. And then I dyed it later that night. But like to put my extensions in and dye them, that took probably like an almost entire day. Like dyeing my extensions took forever.
Did you have to strip your extensions or did you?
No, we got strawberry blonde ones.
Oh, good. So then, okay.
But they're individual, like just like single. I use like nano bead extensions. So
that would
dyeing
take
them is
forever.
so annoying because there's
And
like
then get tangled and like
yes, and then wash them and straighten them and blow dry them. And extensions take forever to blow dry. And then it took her about 3 hours to 2.5 hours to put them in.
oh, that's not as long as I thought because I feel like in my head I would think like it's like a 5 hour process, but I guess it also depends on how much hair you have too, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Because like if you have thick hair and you need a lot of extensions. Longer. Okay, that makes sense.
And then I go back every 8 weeks. And I did anyway when I had short hair to get them moved up.
Okay, two questions. One, because I know everyone in the comments is going to want to know what is the color on your head right now?
Feria.
Feria, box dye. Okay.
Feria, L'Oreal Feria 74.
74. Okay.
That is it.
Perfect. Yeah. Is there like a name or not really?
It's like blonde, dark blonde copper or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see any blonde in this.
No, it's orange, but beautiful in a good way.
Yeah.
And then two, when you touch up your roots for your hair, like your hair, do you also dye your extensions while they're in your head? How does that work?
Yeah. So what I do, and don't ever take hair dyeing tips from me, like the color, go for it. But I just like do my roots, all of the roots, and then I just lather the rest of it through my hair. I usually use 2 boxes because I have a lot of hair now. And I do it because this like anything red fades so badly. So I just toss it in. I tried to go to Sally's and get like box dye or like not box dye.
Yeah, but like box dye. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it. There's too much to choose from. There's too many developers. Like the process is so difficult. I walked into Superstore, I looked at the color I wanted, and I brought it home with me. So much easier.
Now I have to come in with like
you do, yes.
Okay, but listen, I was red for so long, and this is coming from someone who isn't naturally blonde like Sarah, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people who have my color hair. This is my natural. It's like almost black. And they're like, well, how do you can't just go and buy Feria and throw it on your head. It's going to have to be lighter. So the reason why I went to Sally's is because they have a brand of hair dye that has the developer and lifter in it for dark hair. So that's why I would go there and I would get the L'Oreal for reds for dark hair. And then that way it's all in one.
So you just slap it on and
slap it on. It does take a few. I find to get to the lift that I wanted it took quite some time of touch up.
Yeah.
But then once it's there, like I was a little darker than what you had, but like going from this to that in like, not having to bleach my whole head is like a game changer.
Yeah. Because I always forget that I am very lucky that I am naturally blonde.
You don't have to, there's no middleman. You just throw on the color and walk out the door.
I literally slap it on with my hands in the basement. Done. Rinse it off 20 minutes later. I'm good.
You're good to go. Yeah, living the dream. And we're
I
all
know.
just over here like Lord Farquaad.
Fuckwad. Yeah, so that's pretty, I mean, that's really been my week. Sully started pulling up on our crib, so now she smashes her face off of her crib all the time.
No, Sully,
Like, is
get it
that,
together,
you
girl.
just let them do that? Like, I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
supposed to do.
I honestly, well, what can you do? That's what I mean, other than put pool noodles and saran wrap all around it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no.
Yeah, you just gotta let them live and learn. Theo was like the child that like would hit his head and like he every day he
Yeah.
would do something. I'm like, he would, for the longest time, we were genuinely concerned that he would need glasses because the sheer amount of times he would run into walls, like full speed. I'm like, did you not see that you are like 2 feet away from the door frame? Like, you
No.
didn't make it. You didn't even clear it closely. Like, you went straight head first into that wall
I love that.
confidently and then turns around and looks at me like I did it. I'm like, what are you
Damn you,
doing?
mom.
Oh
I love
God.
that for him.
I don't.
Just confidence. It's the confidence. He's gonna be a confident king when he grows up. Just
Oh,
like
he is.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's on your For You page this week, my friend?
So, a lot of like Barbie resurgence because of the Oscar nomination situation. So,
Such bullshit.
yeah, I'm sure everyone already knows by now. But the Oscar nominations went up, and I don't, was Barbie as a film nominated? No,
I've
but
never watched the Oscars in my life.
me either. I
Okay,
think,
great.
yeah, no, but I watched like the clips. Like, I'm always curious about the clips
Yeah,
afterwards and like
yeah,
red
yeah.
carpet and stuff. I'm super into.
If they could do like
Um,
Jays and 30 for the Oscars, I'd be really happy.
oh yeah, that would
Yeah,
be very handy.
right?
Um, but yeah, so basically, the whole irony of the whole situation is Greta Gerwig, who's the director writer of the film, and Margot Robbie, who produced the film and starred as Barbie, are not nominated for anything. But Ken is. Ken is. And America Ferrera is, which I mean, she did
She
fantastic.
is.
She's nominated for, I think, Best Supporting Actress.
Good.
But the irony that Ken is nominated and not Barbie is just
Infuriating.
it's the cherry on top of the misogynist cake
It's
that
literally
is the
like,
world.
it's like, here's the plot of the movie. Let's just make it happen in real life now.
Yeah, yeah. It's sadly hilarious and ironic. And I don't know. It's just unfortunate that the whole situation is happening. But like that's my entire feed. Everyone commenting under the sun, like giving their take on it. And yeah, it's kind of anyways, what's your For You page? Is it a little nicer and happier? Or?
So do you like dabble in trad wife at all?
Oh, ballerina farm. Okay, talk about it. It's
Okay.
hilarious.
So if you guys don't know what trad wife is, it's like traditional wife homestead life, sort of. So like you're baking your own bread, you're making your own peanut butter from scratch, making jelly from raspberries. I love watching it because I feel it's like very peaceful to watch. Super unrealistic for my life, but peaceful. And so there's this trad wife named Ballerina Farms, or that's her handle.
She's like the queen of trad wife
She's the
though.
queen of
Like
trad
she's like
wives.
top of the pyramid of like every trad wife wants to be her.
Be
Is
her.
what I understand.
Yes, 100%. And so there's like two controversies right now with her. One is that it just came out that her husband's father actually owns like JetBlue and like 5 airlines. So they are filthy rich. So like the
I
trad wife
didn't
people,
know that.
so the trad wife people are like, wait, is this like a sham? Like, are you faking this? Do you even live on the farm? Like, or is this literally, are you just doing this for like views and like
Views.
clout? Like,
Oh,
you're
she's a
so
nepo, not
rich.
a nepo baby because she's married into the nepo
But
family.
she's nepo
That's
baby by association.
wild. Oh
And
my
then
god.
the other thing is that she's competing in like a pageant 10 days postpartum.
Now
Like,
listen. If you want to do that, go off,
for
do it.
you.
Whatever. Yeah, woohoo! Like rock on. But
It's I was wearing diapers still 10 days postpartum, not putting on
yeah.
ball gowns. And like I had a very easy postpartum recovery. But like,
Oh boy.
what? So all the trad wives are like,
They're mad.
they're
Yeah.
mad.
Which I think it's silly to get mad at someone for their own personal decisions
Totally.
about, yes, but at the same time, Pageants. I mean, that's a whole other bucket of worms that I don't even want to tackle right
No,
now. But
no.
yeah, that's yeah.
I find it funny that she's like secretly really rich. Just
That
filthy,
I didn't
filthy
know.
rich.
Thank you for sharing that because that just made my day.
Glad I could. Zoe, I am so excited for this episode.
Me too. I think it's going to be amazing. And thanks to all of you listening because
Yes, you did the
you
work for us.
did the work. We're just going to sit back, read it, and comment on it and giggle and go, ooh, man.
Should we kick it off with some like fun stories?
Sure. Let's each do a story from our comment message box.
Okay.
Yeah. And these are your stories. We're going to keep them anonymous, but yeah, we pretty much just wanted to hear your relationship stories over the years, past, present. And we just wanted to hear, funny, quirky, sexy, like fun relationship stories because it's Valentine's Day.
And why not?
Why not?
One of my favorite things that I got first though was like, because I said we're gonna keep this anonymous. I had like 12 people in the message box being like, wait, these aren't anonymous. So just in case, yeah, in
Seriously.
case you guys didn't know,
Oh
when
yeah.
you answer a question box, we know who sends it in.
We know who it is. I never judge. Unless
No,
you're like ripping me
mean.
apart for some
Yeah.
reason, which does happen once in a while.
Yes.
But at the same time, I never judge. Like, and
No,
no, I'm not
no,
that type of
we're
person.
not here to judge.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna kick it off because this one's maybe one of my favorites.
Okay, NSFW, hide your kids, hide your wife. Get
Hide your
ready for
kids.
some stuff. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so when I first started dating my boyfriend, about a month into dating, we decided to go to Vegas. We were at an outdoor concert and I had to go to the porta potty. TMI, but I had to go number two. While in the porta potty, there was no toilet paper. So I had to take my sock off and use it as toilet paper. So creative. So for the rest of the night, I only had one sock on. We got back to the hotel and he asked why I only had one sock on, and I got upset and told him what happened. He said, "That's okay, babe. You had to make a sacrifice." Marry that man now.
Oh my God. That is so good. And I love everything about that.
It's amazing. I love that you wiped your ass with your sock. That's
Yes.
what I would have done. Like, what else are you gonna
do? Or use your underwear or something. Like you got to make it work. There's always got to be something, right?
Yeah, you're not walking around. I'd rather have no underpants or no sock than walk around with poo on my bum.
Of course.
100%.
I mean, that's without a doubt.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So because that was perfect and poopy, I'm going to segue right into another perfect and poopy one. Yes. Because why not? It's a perfect transition, right?
It's a perfect poopy transition.
Yeah. So, and also this is making me feel really good about like my tummy problems listening to these because like, when you got to go, you got to go.
100%.
Me and my then boyfriend, now my husband, which is already a good sign, we're on a long ass hike in the middle of the forest, and I was hit with like a train with the worst food poisoning I've ever experienced. I was literally projectile pooping in the woods, absolutely mortified and without toilet paper. My boyfriend took off his shirt and let me use it as toilet paper. Only a few people know about this story as it's humiliating, but my maid of honor said in her speech at our wedding, Marcus would literally take the shirt off his back for Christy, and the people that know the story were fucking howling with laughter. Funny to look back on now.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, I have a poo story.
Oh my God, what? What?
Like Tell my own poo story.
I want to know.
Okay, well, actually, I have two poo stories.
I don't have poo stories. I'm jealous that I don't have poo stories. Okay,
okay, so my favorite one is Bryce and I. So right after we got engaged in Sandpoint, Idaho, and we drove to Seattle like the next day. And we went out to like we went to a couple tiki bars in Seattle, and Bryce literally drank everything on the menu, got so drunk, like drunk. So he's like laying on the street in Seattle. I'm like, Bryce, we need to go back to the hotel. Like, let's call an Uber. And he's like, I can walk there. You can't. He's wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt and short jean cutoffs. And I'm like, you can't walk there, dear. So I finally get him back to the hotel. He goes to like take a shower, and he's in the shower for like 35 minutes. And I'm let's get the deed done. Like I wanted to, partake in
Yeah.
some things. So I open the bathroom door and I go to look, and he's laying in fetal position in the shower, shoving his shit down the shower grate because he
No. No. Oh my God.
and then I was like,
That's not where I thought this was going. I thought
no,
it was your shit story, not Bryce's.
nah,
Are you gonna have to get clearance from him for this?
that's fine. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna marry this man for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love. Was
it
he
was good.
mortified or was he just like, this is life?
This is life, and I tell the story all of the time, obviously. So if your fiance ever shoves shit down the shower, great, you're in for a
Miriam.
treat. Yeah, marry him immediately. Okay, what else you got?
That's hilarious. Okay, do you want to maybe switch gears and do some questions?
I would love to.
Relationship questions. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
take it.
Okay. Um, let's see here. Ooh, this is a good one. How to prepare for moving in with your partner. They would like to know how to prepare for that transition. That first of all, I do need to preface this by saying Andrew and I moved in together very young, very, very young. And like we had been together for almost a year when we moved in together, but it was long distance. Like we were in a long distance relationship for a year,
Oh,
2 years, a year and a half. So when we moved in together, it went from like us seeing each other on weekends to us seeing each other every single day. Like it was a wild
that's a lot.
transition. It's a lot. And it was also the first time that I was like on my own and not in school, like not in, so like real life, like I had to, not go to school, but go to my full-time job and like things like that. So I was
Yeah.
young. We were like 21 or something. And it was such a transition for us. But I think the biggest thing that you can do to prepare is oh God, remind yourself that it's okay to not be together all the time.
Uh-huh.
So you're allowed to do things separately. At first, it doesn't feel like you're allowed to do things separately. Like you have to do it all together
You have to
all the
like
time.
watch TV at the same time and do all, yeah,
Yeah.
and go to bed at this. No.
Yeah, you're allowed to not do that. Like it's okay. Like you can do things separately and it's probably better you do so you
Yeah.
don't drive each other up the wall.
I think that's really good
Um
advice.
Also try to like I say this, but like don't commit to like an animal or like anything like that right away. We bought a dog when we adopted a dog
Yeah.
2 months after living together. Horrible idea because we were then like give yourself time, like give yourself as much time as you can, like at least a year before you commit to anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
um and we had this dog forever. Like he was around when both our kids were little. Like what?
Max?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was there, and like he made it to 14, and we adopted him when he was 4. So like
Mm.
we didn't get rid of him or anything like that. But at the same time, like it was a huge strain on our relationship because we were like just getting in the hang of like living together, and we're like,
Yeah.
let's get a dog.
Did you
So
guys move into like a new apartment for both of you or house for both of you? Or did you
yeah,
one of you guys move into the other place?
no, this
Okay.
was like fresh for both of us. So it was like, it was good in the sense that we didn't feel like neither of us felt like territorial or like,
Mm-hmm.
this is my space that they're coming into. It was both our space. So, and it was
Yeah.
both new to us. But I think the biggest thing is like, make sure that you know that you can give each other space. You're allowed to go
Space is
for a
fine.
walk without them. You're allowed to, like, it's
You
good.
should.
It's better. It's healthy. Yeah.
Yes. So Bryce, I mean, I've lived with 3 guys. I've lived with all 3 of my boyfriends. The first one I was really young, and I think it like we just didn't talk budget, and I think that that's a really
Mm-hmm.
important thing.
Oh, that's good.
He was making a lot more money than I was, so it was really difficult on our relationship because him paying 50% of the rent was really easy, whereas like I was struggling, and we didn't
Yeah.
like I don't think I set a realistic budget on like what we should have been spending on rent, etc. So I think like
Mm-hmm.
having those you have to have really grown-up conversations when you move in with
Yeah.
someone for the first time. So having those like budget conversations are really important. Second boyfriend, it was a hot mess. He
Yeah.
moved
Then we're
into
going
my
to,
parents' house for a bit when I was like house sitting for them. It was no, we're just gonna skip over that one. But
okay.
So Bryce moved into my house, where we still live, and it's our house now. But
Mm-hmm.
I was renting out the top floor and living in the basement. And Bryce and I both have, or at the time, both had dogs. Um, And I also like had set this place up kind of like my dream house. Like it was like
Mhm.
very Sarah. Um, I had turned like my second bedroom into a closet. Like it was very me. And I didn't take the time to think about like how Bryce would feel living in my space. So that's a big one. Is just like make sure that someone feels welcome. Like make sure that
Mhm.
they have their space that you can like decorate. I would probably like redecorate together, make them feel at home.
Included, yeah.
Totally, because Bryce shared with me a couple years ago when we finally took over the entire house, that he just like never really felt comfortable when we lived in the basement. Also, we were
Mm.
living in like 600 square feet with both
Yeah.
of us and two
And two
dogs
dogs.
and
Yep.
two big dogs. Like it wasn't great. We were only lasted down here for like 5 months, and then we are like, hey, we need to go upstairs. But yeah, so I would just have like really honest conversations about budget, really honest conversations about like what you expect, like what your decorating style
Expect,
is, and like how
yeah,
you like
yeah.
how you like to live. And then the other thing that I've heard recently is if it's not important to them, you need to have a conversation about it. So like for me, I can't go to sleep if the house isn't like reset. Whereas like
Mhm.
that doesn't bug Bryce as much as it bugs me. So you just had to have like really important conversations about like the things that like I need to wake up to a clean house or
Yep.
I feel like jittery and weird.
Yeah. Yep.
So just like setting out your expectations and like making things that are important to them be important to you too.
I
So you
like
meet in the
that.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally about being a team. You got to
100%.
remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I had this question about 400 times. And I think there's a lot of new moms that follow me. So it is essentially like how do you stay at a roommate stage, or like what do you do when there's a new baby in the picture? Like how do you keep the spark alive?
Mm.
And like how do you stay like partners and not just roommates after a kid?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is. And I was thinking about it because I think that it's kind of inevitable that you move into roommate stage for a minute. And
Hmm.
I think the most important thing that you can do is just embrace that. Like
Yeah, it's
for
okay.
right,
Yeah.
like the first like 3, 4, however long months of your kid's life, like that's the center of everything. And you're not gonna I didn't feel like myself. I told Bryce yesterday, I'm like, I'm starting to sort of feel like myself again, 9
Hmm.
months into this. Um, and I think it's okay to move through ebbs and flows. So embrace the roommate stage, embrace the fact that like this person's literally like trying to keep you sane when you're in some of like the darkest, hardest times of your life. Um, and I think for us, it's strengthened our friendship even more, which is
Hmm.
so important in a marriage. And just trust that you're gonna come out of it. You have to
Yep.
put the effort in. You have to put the effort in. You have to make the want and the need to move past that roommate stage. Be flirty, go on dates, do the things, make time for sexy time.
Yeah.
And like schedule it if you have
You
to.
may have to do scheduling, which is so annoying
So
and
lame.
like silly and like it seems stupid, but like for the first little bit, like you're literally on another little human schedule.
Yeah.
And like you just gotta kind of like wing it. Like when Marla was little, we would put her down for a nap and we'd like, go hit it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You just gotta do what you
You
gotta
gotta do
do.
it. Exactly. And like I think that we put so much pressure on ourselves to like not live in this roommate stage for some time, but it's like you're going to.
It's
It's
okay.
fine.
Yeah, like it's all good. If anything, it's going to, you know, it's going to strengthen you as a couple. It's going to
Yeah.
strengthen you individually too, because, and you know what? There, in my opinion, this is like my personal experience. There was nothing more attractive to me than seeing my husband being a good father.
Yeah.
Like, like nothing turns me on more than that.
Totally. And like
Yeah.
I'm more in love with Bryce now than I've ever been. Just like
Yes.
watching him with Sully. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's so sweet.
Yeah.
But I imagine it just gets better the older they get too.
It does. Yeah. And like there's different stages and stuff like that. And it's fun to experience, and everything is temporary, and you'll pass, it'll go through. But just if you need to schedule things, if you need to take a night to yourselves, even if you need to like create a date night at home when your kids go to
Hmm.
bed, do it. Like why
Totally.
not order in, light the candles, pick, like, rent, pay for a movie, don't watch it on Netflix, like go on and pay for a rental movie that you
Yeah.
want to see and make it like special and like fun.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
okay. Yeah.
And it's like, just be really honest with each other. Like if you feel like you're in that place, like have check-ins, have those conversations, like be aware of it and like talk about it. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Things only get better when you talk about them and don't just sweep them under the rug.
Agreed. Communication. I mean,
Apparently it's a big part
I'm
of
a therapist girly now. I'm in therapy. So yeah, you got to communicate things or else, it's just going to pile up and build up and then you're going to like lash out irrationally.
Yes. And I mean, you're probably going to do that anyway, and that's okay too.
Yeah, let's be honest. I have one, which I
Okay.
think we can both kind of chat about. Plus size gal still struggling how to feel worthy and confident enough to date and be intimate. Help.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to say something a little controversial here. Okay. It is so hard to have someone love you when you don't love yourself.
100%.
It's not impossible because I've done it multiple times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier to be able to be in a space where you can be comfortable and okay with the idea of letting someone else into your space, your personal space, when you've gotten to be a little more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to be like light years better and like love yourself till the moon and the stars and like be like you're the hot, like yes, you are the hottest person in the room here.
100%.
Let's be honest here. Like we're hot. We're plus size, but we're freaking hot. Okay.
Yes.
But you do need to work on yourself. And I think that that's going to be helpful, not only for you and your soul and your heart and your, everything, your mental health, but if you are struggling with the idea of having someone else be around you intimately and like, then you need to really, before you jump into that, start working on you and making you, give yourself the love that you want to give others, that you
Totally.
deserve to give others and to yourself. So
I
that's
kind of
my
think,
take on it.
I feel like that's like the perfect answer.
Yeah. It makes me so sad to think that, like, if for some strange reason, we're not going to go into this, but like, if for some strange reason I had to start dating tomorrow, which I'm not, and I'm so thankful for that.
Yes.
I think that me dating now versus me having to date when I was like miserable and constantly trying to change my body and like it would be so much easier.
So much easier.
So much easier.
You know your worth, you know your value. You know that.
Yeah. I think a lot of like, because it's been drilled into our heads for so long, when you're plus size, like it's like, no, you're less than.
Yeah.
Like you're no.
No.
Listen, from someone with a loving husband who loves my body and has loved my body this way. It's ebbed and flowed and whatnot. But when I got married, I was a size 18. Like I wasn't small.
Yeah.
I've never been small. So listen, you're hot and you deserve all the love and intimacy and
just like take time to like find the joy in like go shopping. And I know that sounds terrible, but go for a lot of people hate shopping, which I find wild. It's my favorite thing in the world. But like go shopping. Go find something you look amazing in. Go find something that like you feel good in. Empower yourself in every single way. Like take an everything. I feel like the hottest babe in the entire world after I do like an everything shower.
Everything shower.
Oh my God.
And like, listen, from a girly that can't shop in many stores, like physically, because they don't my size, go online.
Totally.
Go do some online shopping. I'm not saying spend hundreds of dollars. No. Buy yourself a new outfit. Just one new outfit.
Find something you feel great in.
Yeah. And then have an everything shower, take yourself out.
Yes. Date yourself.
Date yourself, challenge yourself, go to a restaurant. And I bet you, like, once you start vibing with who you are and how awesome you are, you're gonna, the difference of people that you will find on the dating apps and things like that, your standards, they're gonna go up.
I think that's the biggest thing too, is like, you don't drop your standards because of the way that you think society sees you.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you are a queen. You deserve the world. And like, treat yourself the way that you would treat your best friend.
Yes, that is such a good way to look at it because you deserve that.
Literally. You got this, girl.
Period.
The end. I like this one a lot. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Is there fashion with your V? It's been 20 years since I had to think about this.
You know what? I think in 2024, we are very much on the whatever you want or like, or enjoy is what's in style right now.
Get a vajazzle if that's what you think is right for you. Do whatever you need. I've been rocking the same bare bones since forever. I feel like just do what feels right for you.
You got to do what's right for you. I can't do bare bones.
That's
and
fair.
I think that's because I have super coarse hair. So like if I get all the ingrown. So I will go very short. And then that's my 5 o'clock shadow. That's my vibe. But I can't go long either because it's uncomfortable to me. Yeah. Like I can't grow it out. That's just me though.
We're just in I think we're in the time of do what feels right. You want a landing stripe? You want to dye that landing stripe with Kool-Aid and make it purple? Go for it. Oh my God.
Fun.
Right?
Why not? YOLO.
It's another perk of being blonde.
Yes, right. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Should we do a story? I got a story.
Give me a story.
This is a saucy story.
Ooh.
And okay, I need to preface this by saying this follower then commented after sending this story that she's like, you need to picture this happening as my husband is like a very quiet engineer, sophisticated type person. Keep that in the back of your head as I read the story.
Can't wait.
Okay. My hubs and I have been away for Christmas for the week with my family. Not a lot of time to ourselves. So when we were finally home, we were excited. My husband got our daughter to sleep easily as she was exhausted. I went to put our son down to sleep. Meanwhile, my husband goes to get ready. He has a bit of cannabis, gets dressed up with all the leather accessories to wait for me. Okay. Then he hears a dog barking, but it sounds like our dog, but it's outside. Sure enough, one of our doors was opened. My husband throws on a house robe over his outfit. He puts his blindfold on his forehead like sunglasses and removed his human dog leash. This detail kills me because he could have used that to get the dog. He goes out to get our dog, who had been approached by another woman walking her dog, and apologizes. A gust of wind away from public indecency while -30 and snowing out, but it's not over. He comes back and he's locked himself out of the house. So he's out there with a dog dressed in leather accessories, a bathrobe, a little high, and with our dog with no leash. In the freezing cold, and he's trying to ring the doorbell quietly, but not loud enough to wake up the kids. I eventually hear it faintly, like a toy with dying batteries, to find my poor husband glued to our side of the door. As I'm opening it, I'm trying to remember if it's like some kind of fantasy that he was trying to tell me about over 15 years. She thought it was role play. Okay, wait. Anyways, this is the long story of why my husband installed a number padlock on our door the next day.
I have never loved a story more in my life.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
I'm obsessed. They need to make a movie out of this.
Literally.
This is how a rom-com starts.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the Fockers 6.
Oh my gosh, that was literally. And then after she's like, imagine this with my very quiet, reserved engineer husband. I'm like, that's amazing.
They always are, though. I was a piercer for years. Did you know this about me?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was a body piercer for years and years. Every quiet engineer has their penis pierced.
Sexy.
It's wild. Absolutely wild. I don't have super saucy ones, but I have this one which I actually think is really sweet. So we're gonna pull it back a little bit.
I love sweet ones.
Sweet and kind of sad all at the same time.
Oh no.
So 15 years ago in high school, my hubby asked me to be his girlfriend. We dated and it was amazing. We fell so in love. A year later, my parents found out and packed my bags and took me back to India. I was literally taken away, and I found a way to use my cousin's phone to call my husband. And it was very rarely, but we had a long distance relationship for the next year and a half. He waited so patiently for me and so faithfully, and he was so amazing. I came back to Canada to go to university, and the only reason my parents took me back home was to go to university. So I get back and I reconnect with Brandon, and it was like I never left. I decided I was going to just go live with him after all the time apart and all the trauma. I just left what I was wearing. I left with what I was wearing and nothing else, and I started to build my life with Brandon. We're celebrating 15 years on Valentine's Day, and in 15 years, we graduated university together. We started our careers. We started a business. We got married. We bought a house, and we have 2 kids, and we're still so in love.
Oh my gosh. It's sad, but so sweet.
Like,
Like that's
so sweet.
love always wins.
Every time. Love
Every
always
time.
prevails.
Yeah.
The sweetest.
Oh, gosh.
Can you imagine being taken away?
No.
No, Liam
No.
Neeson wouldn't do that.
No, he wouldn't.
Taken,
Take
it was a bad joke.
Oh my gosh.
I have a question for you.
Okay. What is it?
Why do men have no idea where things are kept in the house?
Oh my God. What is wrong with them? Like I mean, there are some cases where I'm like, I have no idea where that is or that is. But like basic things, like basic.
Like
basic.
That is one of the questions we got. And I was like, it's very true. Or why do men leave cupboards open all the time?
Mm-hmm. Or like throw their dirty underwear right beside the dirty laundry basket.
Or leave empty cans on the counter.
Yes. At the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it in the recycle. Why don't you do the same thing?
Sometimes beside the recycling, like the recycling is right beside it, and the answer is I don't know, but all men do it.
Dummies.
They'll never know where anything is. That's okay.
Sorry, we don't have an answer for that.
We're just
we feel it to our core.
We're in the same boat with you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a really kind of like nuanced question.
Love a nuance.
I don't know if it's directed at me or if maybe they're having second thoughts of things, but I think it's really interesting. So let's talk about it. Have you ever had second thoughts about your partner being the one for you?
Oh.
Only when he leaves his cans out. Okay, so I've never said this publicly.
Okay.
But whatever. Who cares? I feel safe. This
no
is my safe
anyway.
little space. No one's listening to this, right? Back when Andrew and I were initially dating, like first started dating, we were living together. This was our first apartment. It was our first time being together. We did break up for one night. One night. Yeah. And it was heartbreaking and devastating. I went through like a range of emotions. It literally felt like it was done. It was done. It was done. It was done. Yeah. Like we were discussing who's going to take the dog, who's going to get the car, like things like that. Like we were like, this is what's happening. We're done. Yeah. It didn't even make it through the night and we were back. But we are not the type of people that do that. You know how there's some couples that like fight?
Yes.
They're just not like that type. Never. So it felt real and I think that because of that moment, after that moment, I knew that he was the one for me because of that one fight. So, I mean, that being said, we have had really hardships. We've gone through a lot together, especially in the pandemic, especially when we had a newborn baby and we were locked in the house. We were going a little stir crazy and we were getting on each other's nerves. But no, like I never had any moment or like second of doubt that he wasn't the one for me. Now, if you're feeling that way though, I'd maybe talk about it.
Totally.
And be open about it. And I wouldn't like rip it off like a band-aid and be like, I think I want to leave you. No, but I think maybe you should have like a conversation and be like, check in, see where your feelings are. Maybe if you need to bring in a third party, like a therapist.
Yep.
And communication, like you got to talk about things.
It's really important. I have never felt with Bryce, it's never been like that, but I had that with past boyfriends and then stayed in it for a while and been like, oh, it's just a fleeting moment, but didn't talk about it. Like I would be like, oh, I feel this way. I don't want to be with this person anymore. And then I'd be like, let me just stuff that down because that's the healthy thing to do. And it's not the healthy thing to do because then you explode. Yeah. Whereas with Bryce, like we just have the hard conversations. We have the hard talks. We've been, I think one of the hardest things that we've ever gone through is like losing my mom during a pandemic while he was on mental health leave. Like that was really terrible.
Like, right? Like,
and you just have to talk about it and you have to talk about your feelings and your emotions. And you need to know that it's like a safe place. And if it's not a safe place, get a third party, like Zoe said. And if it's not a safe place to have talks about your feelings, then that's an indication that like, maybe there is like some other stuff going on.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I think it's not unnormal to like question things every
Oh
once in a
God.
while.
Yeah.
No.
Like, oh, for sure. That's totally normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another question.
Love it.
This is really good for the both of us too. So
Okay.
I'm kind of merging two questions together. So
Yeah.
one of them was, do you find being influencers that your husbands get tired of you filming so much? And then the other part of it was because you're constantly like your job, your entire job is working from your phone. Do you find that you're like taking away from like your relationship and family and things like that? So that was another one. So I figure those go kind of
Hand in
hand
hand.
on hand.
I feel for me at
Mhm.
least, I actually don't film a ton of stuff when Bryce is around. So
Likewise.
right, like
Same Z's.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do a lot of it when he's not home during nap time. That's kind of like
Mhm.
when I do my job.
Yeah.
Um, and if I am doing stuff when he's around, we've already discussed it. So he knows that he's like part of it. He knows
Mhm.
that like what's going on. Or like I'll take a quick picture when we're out in public, and that does not bug
Yes.
him at all.
Yep.
Bryce is also like the most supportive human in the entire
He
world. And he will,
is.
yeah, like he'll do, if I'm like, hey, I need to go to West Edmonton Mall, which is the busiest mall, on a Saturday and take photos on the bridge beside like beside the sea lion. So be like, all right, I'll hold the camera for you. Like
Yeah.
he'll do it. So no, I don't think it's had an effect, but I do think that working from my phone, and I think I spoke about this on our
We
relationships
chatted
episode.
about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it wasn't this job that's the worst for me. It's my other job where it's like
Mhm.
that's where I try to be readily available all the time. And I had to realize that like I just can't be. I need to
Mhm.
prioritize my family. So we had a lot of honest conversations about that. And I didn't really see it until I stepped away from work,
Mhm.
how addicted I was to like being available all the time. And I think now going forward, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah, that's good because
Yeah,
I feel like it takes a lot in you to recognize that.
totally.
Yeah, and that was one of my things too. And like you said, like I am very grateful that my one child is in school.
Hmm.
My other child I have care for 4 days a week.
Yeah,
This is a full-time job for me. Like the amount of work that I put into this,
yeah,
I need to be able to do it solely on my own
totally.
without my kids, without my family. So I work from home. That's just essentially my job.
Yeah.
So yes, the majority of my filming, editing, all of that is done usually during the day when I have care and when my daughter's at school.
Hmm.
However, on weekends, etc. And if, for instance, we're doing something filming together, or if I need help filming, like he's usually on board, but it's very minimal. Like it's not all the time, all day, every day. So I don't think that it affects, like he's never ever said that it affects
Hmm.
him. Um, and that being said, too, like I noticed that I would be more last year I noticed that I just was reliant too much on my phone to keep me like entertained, like in the
Yes.
evenings and stuff like that. So I've gotten a lot better at just like ditching it. Like I
Hmm.
just like will like leave my phone and leave it alone and then go be with my kids or be with my husband or be, with my family or like my niece. Like I would like when I'm okay now with putting my phone down and walking away.
Yes.
Whereas
Yeah.
before I was like, I have to have it on me at all times. Whereas
Hmm.
now I'm like, if I'm not working or if there's nothing that I need to be doing right at that moment, I'm okay with like leaving it and walking away.
Yeah. It'll be there when
Yeah.
you come back. And
Yeah.
I have to remind myself now that like anything that comes in on my phone, like a text message, an email, none of that is an urgent form of communication.
No.
If something is on fire, one, I can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, like call me. And I know
Yeah.
that people in my life that know that like when something is serious, they will call me. I'll
Yep.
always answer a phone call.
Yeah.
But like nothing is so urgent. It's coming in from like a DM or a text message.
No, no, exactly. That's a really good rule of thumb.
Sure. I have one that said, do you think it's reasonable for butterflies to always be there? Like that butterfly
No,
moment. No, right?
no, no. Why would they always be there? Like, I mean, sorry, if you always get butterflies and you're like head over heels 24
Love
7,
that for you.
365, like amazing,
Yeah.
go off. I personally don't have butterflies 24/7.
Do you still get butterflies though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually located in my vagina, though. No, okay. So,
I love that.
um, how do I come back from that. No, yes, I do.
can.
I do. Every once in a while, I have like moments of being like, oh my God, the guy that I was in love with for like when I was 17 years old or 18 years old is now my husband and I have kids with him. And like I get like little butterflies and stuff like that. And then I do get, tingles elsewhere once in a
Yeah,
while.
duh. More than once in a while. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I think that there's like moments where I get butterflies still, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
not an everyday thing.
No,
No, and
definitely not.
it doesn't mean the magic is gone or the spark isn't there. It's
No.
just I'm not. I feel
Now,
like butterflies also like have a lot to do with nerves. Like I would get
oh
butterflies a
yeah.
lot at the beginning because I'd be nervous and I'm
Yeah.
actually really shy.
Yeah.
Which is so strange. But but I would get like nervous butterflies all the time and I just don't get those at all anymore, which is kind of nice.
That is nice because you're
Yeah,
comfortable and,
so comfortable
Bryce is a part of you. So it's not,
in
yeah.
more ways than one.
Now, if you're now if you're never getting butterflies or like you're ick or you're
Yeah,
like
if you get
turned
the
off,
ick.
then maybe something needs to be addressed. I mean, I get the ick sometimes when he does like things that I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like
like
leave
doesn't put
his can out and not put it in the recycling. No, but like honestly, like if like there's nothing there, then you maybe should look into
yeah,
it. Like if
yeah,
they've been gone for a while, then maybe something
yeah.
needs to be
Have a conversation about it.
conversation.
It's like we're 2024 is all about communication.
Literally, like it's the year of talking. Do you want to do a story? I'll do a story.
Okay, yeah,
Do
do
a
it.
story. Okay. Should we do like I'm gonna do a couple little mini stories because
Okay.
I got a lot of like short form stories.
Yeah.
Um, 1 month into dating, I was riding with my boyfriend in his car when I sneezed and a snot rocket flew out of my nose and hit the window beside me. I just slowly lifted my hand to try and wipe it, and I hear him say, "Did you just launch a snot rocket at my window?" All I could say was yes. And we were both just cried laughing for about 5 minutes. Now we're married with a toddler.
I love that. It's really good. I have one that
Cute.
says, I totally hooked my husband by flashing him my nipple piercing when we were both still coworkers. Love that.
Don't
Not
tell HR.
not safe for work, but she did it anyway.
I love that so much. Um, on a road trip with my boyfriend, he was driving, leaned over to kiss me all of a sudden, and I thought it was so sweet. Turns out he was hiding the fact that he was lifting his butt cheek to fart. Oh my
I like
god.
that one. I like this one a lot too. The first time I told my now husband I loved him, he just replied with thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, this one is so specific. Okay, not a relationship, but once I went to a guy's house for a one night stand and he had Lay's potato chip crumbs all over his bed, and I literally got up and left. I could not. Okay, hold on. How did you know they were Lay's?
I love that. Garbage, the bags just beside the bed.
Maybe the bag was beside the bed or something. And like, was it like an assortment of different Lay's like over a period of time, or was it like one specific incident where he like had a bag of Lay's in his bed?
I'm really into eating in your bed, and we all know
I
this.
know
I'm
you're
like,
like
yeah,
you'd
that's
be like,
fine.
let's do it.
You got extra chips?
Oh my god.
Okay. My sweet boyfriend and I were prepping dinner one evening and I was slicing a baguette and I'm not great with knives. So naturally I sliced my hand open with the bread knife. Not enough to go to the hospital, but enough where I was bleeding profusely and had to wrap it up and apply constant pressure. Just really stellar timing because I really had to pee. So without hesitation, my boyfriend followed me to the bathroom, pulled down my pants for me, and when I was finished, came in, pulled them back up, and wiped for me. If that isn't true love, I don't know what is.
No, literally like
I love it.
that and like letting someone have your shirt to wipe their poopy bum. Like, come on, that's the
That
bare
is
minimum,
true
guys.
love. That is the barrier to entry.
I have a really cute, like longer story. So I figured I'd read this. And it's I think it's Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's Day specific. So it's perfect.
Ooh.
Okay. First Valentine's Day after we started dating, my then boyfriend, already working a relatively good job, gifted me an iPad. At the time, still a university student, broke as fuck, barely making ends meet between studying and jobs, I started crying hysterically for hours because I felt the gift was so over the top and not the slightest to compare with my small, very not expensive gift. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like a card and a coupon for a movie night. He honestly told me He honestly totally happy. Okay, hold on. He was honestly totally happy with my gift and he told me that he likes it a lot. I said I won't accept such an expensive present and that he should return it. He said he won't do it and that it's mine now. After fighting on my side, bawling for hours, he then told me he got the iPad as a bonus from work. So didn't have to pay for it at all. Confessed that he remembered it was Valentine's Day too late to plan something romantic. And he said I could use the iPad for university, and that's why he gifted it to me. I wasn't mad after that. We're now together for 12 years, and every year on Valentine's Day, we remember the iPad incident and have
it's so good.
That's so good. That's like another like out of a like rom-com. Like he's like, no,
100%.
take
Like
this really expensive gift that I got for free from my boss.
it's fine. I actually stole it from my dad. It's cool.
I love it.
I have another question. It's a good question because it's about presents.
Oh, okay.
It was about how do you know what to buy your partner and like what do you guys do for gifts?
Okay, that I had that a lot too. Is like, do you do Valentine's Day gifts? Do you not? What do you do? So on and so forth.
Yes.
So you go first. Like, what do you guys do? Do you do Valentine's Day?
We don't do presents for
No.
anything.
Do you? Oh yeah, that's right. You don't do anything. That's
So,
right.
and I love Bryce dearly. We all know this. I'm a very sentimental, very good gift giver. And I feel like that's a really terrible thing to say about yourself, but it's true. Like I get great presents. So like for his first birthday, we were together. I got him like a Japanese chef's knife. I wrapped it in a Hawaiian shirt. I attached a $40 cigar to it and like made a handmade card for him. Like very like that's a good gift.
Yeah, sentimental and
Yeah.
like
I got like a high five. I think he ended up actually he paid for a tattoo of mine, which was like worked out great. But he like Bryce is not great at presents, and that's fine. And instead of me getting like let down, we just don't do presents. We buy things randomly.
Yeah.
Like we buy things randomly.
Does he treat you every once in a while with like a little like gift surprise or like
totally like
yeah, so that's
if he sees something that reminds me of him, he'll like buy it for me. I'm also very hard to shop for.
Me too.
Because I don't have hobbies. Like
oh yeah.
Right? Like I buy makeup, I buy clothes. That's kind of it. And like hair stuff. And so like he's like, I can't go to Sephora and buy you the makeup you want because I don't know. And he doesn't want to get me a gift card, which I think is very fair. So we just don't do presents. And it's great.
That's valid. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. I feel like so for me for the longest time, like I like to buy gifts. I struggle with buying gifts for other people. So for the longest time, and like even to this day, I love doing experience gifts.
Yes.
Especially for Andrew. So like one year I got him skydiving lessons. One year I got him there's like a race track that you can buy like a laps in a luxury car. So he picks out what luxury car he wants to drive and he gets to like take it. Super fun, super good for like a car lover.
Yeah.
One year I did tickets to see Trailer Park Boys live because he loves Trailer Park Boys. So that was another thing. Like just little things like that like I get to then go and do too. Like it's kind of like a win-win. So this year for Christmas, like we did like we're gonna go on a trip together with the family, and that was like our gift is like we're flying to Florida and we're gonna go on a trip together. But for Valentine's Day, he gets me flowers. I love flowers. I'm like that typical female that's like, oh, flowers. I love them. But he also gets them for me like randomly, like on a Wednesday, or if I've had a bad day or stuff.
Yeah.
He usually gets me and Marlo flowers. Aww. And I think something I'm going to start doing too is oh my gosh, I saw this is totally sidetracked, but I saw this reel about this mom who's like, I read somewhere that the first flowers that men receive are at their funeral. And I just started bawling. And it was this mom buying her toddler boy flowers. So this year for Valentine's Day, I'm buying Theo a bouquet of flowers. Yes. 100%. He deserves flowers. Yes. And he loves flowers too. He loves smelling them. So I'm like, yeah. So like last year, Andrew got Marlo and me a bouquet. And this year I'm going to make sure that Theo gets a bouquet of flower. Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Sorry, that was such a sidetrack.
No, but it's a good one.
And then and then like sometimes it will do like sometimes he'll get me like jewelry or things like that. But like usually it's just like we want to go out together. Like that's like we want to spend time together. That's
Yeah,
our Valentine's Day. Yeah.
totally. I just Valentine's Day, I don't participate.
That's okay.
I've never been a big Valentine's Day girl. I don't like I'm not uber romantic. Like that's not my jam. And that's fine. Like I'm an acts of
Yeah.
service girly. So like
Yes.
those are the best presents that Bryce can get for me. Like when I come
Mm-hmm.
home and the house is clean or like
Oh yeah, or like there's like he decides to cook dinner, like
oh,
things like that. Like that's 100% my
it's my
cup of tea.
favorite. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's what we try to do for each other.
As I've gotten older too, like, and I have children now, I love Valentine's Day for my kids. I love getting
Yes.
my kids little Valentines each. And like
Yeah.
last year, I got them each like a little toy and some chocolates. And like I
Totally.
get so excited about that kind of stuff. And then Marlo and I like doing stuff for her class for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That part of Valentine's Day I love. And, you know, I'll sometimes get Andrew like some nice underwear, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But like, we're not going to go above and
No.
beyond. We want to spend time together, go out for dinner, and then have some smushy time.
To hear yes. Yeah. No, I here for that. I'm here for that.
I love it. Also, I just want to say to everyone, like, if we didn't get to your comment or funny story, sorry, there were so many,
So
like
many.
so many. So maybe we'll have to do a part two. Let us know in the comments if you want a part two, because
Yes.
maybe we'll have to tackle a part two.
Totally. And if you love this like kind of episode, because we can do these
Yeah.
all the time. They're
Yeah,
so
everyone,
fun.
that's so fun. I love, and make sure you're following our Instagram and our TikTok and all of that, because that's where we ask this.
Yes.
Yeah, so follow the Kind of Influence podcast there. Okay, so this is such a cute like little story. It's just like a mini story. So Cody fell down the stairs of my basement on our second date. His pants fell down, and I saw his butt for the very first time that night. It came out, and I couldn't help but laugh. He was laughing too, and he kind of knew he was the one after that. Imagine on the second date seeing
just
like, and like you haven't gone all the way, and there's just a full moon. Like,
okay, but how did his pants come down?
he fell down the stairs of my basement. Okay, so you know how guys have like
Oh,
the
like
worst
low
fitting pants?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
like so maybe he didn't have a belt on or something, and it just whoop.
So for Valentine's Day this year, we buy him a belt.
Yeah, that's a great gift.
I have one. I teased and said I had two poo stories about myself, and I didn't share the first one. So this
Yes,
is
I
like my
know.
first relationship ever. I don't know why I have so
Hmm.
many poo stories. My first relationship ever, we had just moved in together, like probably a month and a half before. And I also used to smoke back in the day. I don't know if people know this about me, probably not. But so I used to smoke back in the day. So my morning ritual was I would wake up, I would have a cigarette, I would drink a cup of coffee. And then once you do those two things, you immediately have to poop. It's like,
Yeah,
it's how it works.
clockwork.
Yeah. So I, did my morning thing. I lived also like 7 minutes away from where I worked. So I, went to the bathroom and I realized that our water had been shut off and our toilet wouldn't flush. And I had to poo so badly. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I can't just like, I'm like probably 19 at this time too. I'm like, I'm not leaving a turd in the toilet for my brand new boyfriend who, I mean, guess not brand new, but like we had just moved in together. I'm not ready
It's
for him
like
to see my
fresh.
poop. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for
Yep.
him to see my poop yet. I still tell him that girls don't poop. So I grabbed a Safeway bag and
You shit in a bag. Sarah, did you shit in a bag?
I wrapped it around the toilet. So it was like I was sitting on the toilet and I pooped in the bag. And then I was like, well, what the fuck do I do with this bag?
What did you do with the bag?
Well, and I was dumb and I like wasn't ready. I was like, well, I can just throw it out on my way to work. But I'm like, what am I gonna do with this bag while I get ready for work? Like it's not just gonna sit in here for whatever. So I put it on our patio because I was like, it's okay. I'll grab it before I go to work and no one will ever know. No one will be any the wiser. I forgot the poo bag.
Did he find the poop bag?
Yeah, he went out for his morning cigarette and he found the poo bag. And he's like, Sarah, why is there a bag of shit on our patio?
Did
And I was
he
like,
open it?
yes, you know what's in there. And then I was like, I never wanted to tell you that I shit in a bag, but I shit in a bag because I didn't want you to find it. And surprise.
You didn't lie. I would have lied. So I would have been like, where did this bag of poo come from? Who's done this horrible crime to us? Why didn't you lie?
I'm a really bad liar. Yeah. So I gave him a bag of shit first thing in the morning.
Oh my God.
That was probably like one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life. That and when I peed on an elevator in Vegas, but that's a story for another time.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
What a way to end
Did we
the
do
episode.
It was so fun.
This was a blast. I am so ready to have a romantic date with my husband now after all these stories.
Why is there so much poo talk in relationships? There really is.
No, we're ill, but in a good way.
In the best way. Amazing. Well, thank you for being here as always. Yes. Rate, review, 5 subscribe. Stars, please. That's it. That's all we'll take.
Thank you.
Smash the bell. Is that a thing? That's a
thing. on YouTube. Yeah.
Smash that bell.
Subscribe, follow, like, share,
tell everyone you know.
Comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know.
Do all the things.
Thank you.
We're not asking too much. Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. The day of love. Embrace it. And,
embrace it.
You know.
Or have a happy Galentine's Day, whatever you choose to celebrate this year.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Right. See you next week.
Bye.